If it feels like you're working harder than ever, but somehow getting nowhere, you're not imagining it. You wake up tired, you go to work, you do what you're supposed to do, you pay the bills, you cover the basics, you make it through the month, and yet, nothing actually improves. There's no momentum, no sense of progress, no feeling that this effort is building toward a better future. Just repetition. The same stress, the same pressure, the same conversations in your head, month after month. You tell yourself, maybe next month will be easier, but it never is. Because the problem isn't effort, and it isn't discipline. It's that you're trapped in a system where effort no longer creates forward movement. Tonight, we're going to talk about that honestly. No motivational hype, no hustle culture slogans, no blaming you for circumstances you didn't create. We're going to look at why living paycheck to paycheck feels endless, why so many hard-working people feel like they're running in place, and what actually has to change if you want movement instead of survival. Most people think living paycheck to paycheck means one thing: I don't make enough money. That's part of it, but it's not the full picture. Paycheck to paycheck really means you have no margin of error, no margin for mistakes, no margin for emergencies, no margin for opportunity. Every dollar is already spoken for before it arrives. Rent, utilities, food, transport, insurance, debt. So when something unexpected happens, a car repair, a medical bill, a rate increase, it doesn't disrupt your plans, it wipes them out. Because there are no plans now, only obligations. And here's the part that breaks people down psychologically. You can be responsible, disciplined, organized, hardworking, and still live like this indefinitely. You can do everything right and still feel like you're barely holding on. Does this sound familiar? That's why it feels so demoralizing, frustrating, and disempowering. Because effort is supposed to lead somewhere, and when it doesn't, people start questioning themselves. One of the most dangerous traps is the illusion that you're doing okay. You're not behind on rent, your utilities are still on, your card hasn't declined. Yet. So on the surface, things look stable, things look fine. But stability without growth is not progress. It's stagnation, quiet stagnation. Nothing compounds, nothing builds, nothing carries forward into the future. You're standing still on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Every year, prices rise, cost of everything increases, and your number one asset, time, disappears faster than ever now. And the effort required just to maintain your position keeps increasing. That's why people feel exhausted, but directionless, even hopeless. They're busy all the time, but they're not advancing. And deep down, they know it. They just don't know how to say it without sounding ungrateful or irresponsible. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Hard work used to be enough, and hard work was all that was required. Not because the past was perfect, but because effort created leverage, advancement, and achievement. The system was easy to understand and it worked, most of the time anyway. Wages rose alongside productivity, for the most part. Skills translated into stability. Time worked led to progress and growth. That equation is broken. Today, for many people, wages lag behind inflation. Skills expire faster than ever. Security is temporary and conditional. Working more hours doesn't necessarily create more freedom. Often, it just creates more exhaustion and frustration. And exhaustion kills creativity, risk-taking, long-term thinking. The system no longer rewards effort by default, it rewards positioning. Where your income comes from, how flexible it is, how much control you actually have over it. If your income has a fixed ceiling and your expenses don't, the outcome is predictable. No matter how hard you work, you're just standing still or sliding backwards. Living paycheck to paycheck doesn't just affect your finances, it changes how your mind works. When all your energy goes towards survival, Your brain shifts into short-term mode. The amygdala takes over by default. Immediate relief becomes the priority. Long-term planning feels like a luxury and sometimes impossible. You stop thinking in years. You stop thinking in possibilities. You start thinking in weeks, in days. Just get through this month. Just make it to Friday. Just don't let anything go wrong. That mindset isn't irrational, it's adaptive, but it's also limiting. Because a life built entirely around avoiding collapse, living in fight or flight mode, never creates expansion. It just gets harder to maintain. Over time, people stop believing change is possible and the future will be better. Not consciously, but emotionally. And that's when stagnation becomes normal. You'll often hear well-meaning advice like, just budget better, just save more, just keep doing what you're doing, and things will get better. That advice ignores the structural reality. You cannot budget your way out of a system where income and costs are fundamentally misaligned, by design. Saving matters, discipline matters, cutting back where you can matters. But cuts have a flaw, and there are only so many hours in the week. There's only so much you can reduce before quality of life collapses. And once you hit that floor, saving becomes defensive. It keeps you afloat. It does not move you forward. If income doesn't change, saving alone just delays the pressure. It doesn't remove it. It only delays the inevitable. Here's the core issue most people never say out loud. There is no upside in this system and in their current setup. Same job, same pay structure, same ceiling. Even promotions often mean more responsibility, more stress, marginally more money. But no meaningful change in trajectory, outcome, or life. When effort has no leverage, reward, or payoff, something is definitely wrong. Motivation dies and energy goes along with it. Because deep down, you know the truth. This won't change anything. And when effort feels pointless, discipline eventually breaks. Because humans are wired to pursue targets, outcomes, and rewards. Without upside, effort feels like punishment, pointless and hopeless. Escaping paycheck to paycheck does not start with hustle, more effort, or more work. It starts with structure, direction, and understanding of the new situation. At least one of these must change: your income ceiling, your level of control over your income, the leverage your effort produces in real outcomes for you. If none of those change, nothing else matters. More budgeting won't fix it. More motivation won't fix it. More hours won't fix it. The real question becomes, where does effort create compounding return? Where does work today reduce effort tomorrow? That's the dividing line between survival, progress, and the new game we are all now playing. Most people don't stay stuck because they're incapable. They stay stuck because they're exhausted. Because risk feels dangerous when there's no margin or upside. Because they've been taught to value stability over leverage and calculated risk. So they wait for a raise that surely will be coming soon, for a better boss or a better job, for the economy to improve and an opportunity to arrive, for something external to change. Meanwhile, time keeps moving on. Years pass quietly, and your number one possession, your time, is being stolen. And one day, survival becomes the default identity. The system has molded you into believing there is nothing you can do, and this is just how it is now. The first shift isn't quitting your job. It isn't gambling on some get-rich-quick scheme, winning the lottery, or an overnight breakthrough. It's changing the question you ask. Stop asking, how do I survive better doing what I'm doing? Start asking, where does my effort actually compound, and what way must I see it to get the life I want? That might mean new skills. It might mean ownership of your time and situation. It might mean building something slowly on the side, on your own, or preferably with a fellow traveler looking to break free. working and planning intentionally, consciously, deliberately. Not by grinding harder in a fixed and rigged system, but by placing all your effort where it can stack wins, multiply, and keep working and growing without you. Because survival keeps you alive, but leverage, planning, and intention changes your life and builds the exit from the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. Here's the truth most people avoid. If you change nothing, nothing changes. Living paycheck to paycheck is not a phase when the structure stays the same. When the structure was designed to trap you in a race that cannot be won. The paycheck-to-paycheck model hardens into a pattern, then a rhythm, then a way of life. Not because you chose it, but because it was what you were taught from childhood. It's what the system wants from you, and it settles in over time without you seeing the trap. It's embedded through exhaustion, through constant pressure, through the slow erosion of hope. Day by day, survival becomes normal. Normal becomes familiar, and familiar becomes invisible. That's the real danger. The more you work, the harder you try in this system, the stronger the bars become that imprison you. And the moment survival starts to feel like all there is, you are locked in. Because survival demands everything and gives nothing back. It consumes your energy. It narrows your thinking and takes over your biology. It trains your mind to aim lower just to stay upright, just to stay going. And over time, it convinces you that this is as far as life goes. This is all you get. The shift begins when that lie breaks, when you see clearly that effort without leverage is not virtue, it's a trap. That staying busy is not the same as moving forward. That progress is not louder effort, but different positioning. You don't change the world overnight, but you do change the lens you see it through, and that's enough to begin with. And once that lens changes, survival is no longer mistaken for progress and all that there is for you. Because it isn't. And deep down, you've always known that. Thank you for watching, and if this made sense, please comment "Got it" below and like and subscribe for more.